Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Chanel at God Loves Couture. Let's talk about skincare and let's talk about acne prone skin. Let me give my disclaimer. I am not a doctor. I don't have a license. I do have a cosmetology license, but I don't have a doctor's license, a medical license. And so my disclaimer is I'm not a doctor. Please go see your own doctor. Go do your blood work, get your whole mock-up and all of that. Okay, I don't have a license, but I do have experience with acne-prone skin for a majority of my adult life. Since puberty age on up, it just seemed like to be this thing that only I got and then none of my siblings got. So I wanted to do this video because, we're always having a conversation around natural looking women, natural faces versus makeup faces. I like makeup, but I think makeup should be an accessory, something that's more accentuates, but not used to cover up all the time, because eventually you have to wash your face. It'd be hot summers. You don't always want a full beat on your face. So this is why I want to do this video, because I want to help my sisters, my cousins, and all of them, and even my brothers who have acne prone skin. I could tell you a thing or two, and so I do understand how it affects your self-esteem. I get how, you talking to people, something very simple, it messes with your confidence, and it's small to some people, but if you have it, or if you have it like moderate to very cystic, it can really wreck with your self-confidence. So I do totally get it. But yeah, let's see, what is my experience with acne prone skin? I have been on every medication, not every, a lot of medications. I have been on isotretinoin. I think it's a vitamin A derivative where it's just topical. And we're going to get into that because, again, I know that the doctors will always tell you that, they'll give you medications. And I'm not against medications, but I'm more so about healing the root of that thing, so that the outside, to me, your body already wants to heal itself. So to me, medication is just like a band-aid on top of it, right? And so if we can get to the root of it, I think your body will heal itself. And then if you want to do treatments and all that afterwards, fine. But this is why I'm going to help you guys out tonight with some of these tips, okay? So I was on isotretinoin, topical, pretty much stings. You got to be careful when you go out in the sun. You got to wear sunscreen, makes you extra sensitive to the sun. What's another one? I've been on Accutane. Accutane is one where you take it on a monthly basis. And if you're a woman, you have to go into the doctor and you have to make sure you're not pregnant, and it can affect your liver. And so it's a real heavy duty drug where it is basically shutting down your oil glands. Your hair is affected, your skin, anything that oil glands would affect, your skin will be drier. Pretty much it's trying to dry the acne out in that way, in shutting the whole factory down, okay? It's a real heavy duty drug. Been there, done that, and still, even with using that, it can come back. Your acne, well, my acne came back after usage, because again, I wasn't getting to the root of what was causing my acne, okay? And it was frustrating, very frustrating, because on certain days it seemed like it would flare up in the most the day that you need to have clear skin, or you trying to do something, that's when a major flare-up would happen and would irritate me, aggravate me, okay? And I know maybe some people feel like it's real vain, but it's not, because when you are talking to people or you're doing anything in business, school, whatnot, You have to look at people in their eyes, and it affects you. Right now, I have a breakout, but we're going to get into that because I'm going to tell you, I know now what my triggers are, okay? What else? So we talked about Accutane, isotretinoin. I was on birth control pills because we thought, okay, maybe this is a hormone issue where if it lowers my hormone levels, and if you guys do your own research, you'll see sometimes, again, you could be feeding the monster by the very medication that they give you. I'm not a doctor. Please do your own research. I'm just a messenger on YouTube, okay? But the birth control pills were going to try to balance my hormones and basically, like, I wouldn't have as bad as breakouts. Still have breakouts, but they weren't as angry is what I would call them, right? Okay. So yeah, so Accutane, isotretinoin, birth control pills. Now my diet, I can't tell you was the best, but I even one time went on a special diet just to see, and they put me on medication. I remember the doctor was so happy because my skin cleared up, right? Again, we were never getting to the diet. I think they thought it was the topical, which to me, here's the thing. Especially if you have black skin, even other ethnicity of skin, usually when you have acne and it heals, it leaves discoloration or a mark, okay? After the trauma, it leaves a mark. And so I was trying to get the marks to go away, but the doctor was pretty much telling me like, hey, wait a minute. If we can't get to the root of it, then we're going to have a repeated cycle. It makes no sense to try to fade the marks if the factory is still belting them out, a new batch of cookies, a new batch of acne every month. So it would seem like my cycle would come, and right before I would have a new batch, and it seemed just as the old ones were trying to heal, a new batch would come, and it was just so aggravating. Like, what is this, right? Okay, so it took me years because I kept thinking, okay, in my family, I remember my father telling me that when he was a child, he always had an allergy, a sensitivity to chocolate. He couldn't eat chocolate. And some people are, have been known to be allergic to chocolate to where he would get nodules under his skin. So I remember him telling me this, and I'm like, okay, so maybe I have some kind of sensitivity like him, and I just can't have chocolate. Okay, that did help, but it wasn't just that. Okay, so along the line with me playing with my diet, basically with me trying to go through an elimination diet, doing a month of clean eating, like basically no soda, no coffee. You'd have to just eat very bland. I want to say like hospital-like food, and bland oatmeal, anything that's just pretty much not a big deal. And then slowly introduce your foods that you normally would eat. You introduce it back into your diet. And so okay, chocolate, I thought, no problem. I just won't eat chocolate. I can live without a chocolate bar. The other thing I found out was dairy. Chocolate also has dairy in it. And I would read different things on the internet and then look at different stories, even on YouTube. And it took me a minute to figure out, oh my goodness, dairy took away, when I removed the dairy, removing dairy took away about 95% of my acne. Majority of my acne was due to dairy, but that's not where it ends, okay? I had intolerances, okay? Not allergies, but sensitivities is what we're gonna say. So basically, the dairy would keep making new batches. The old ones try to heal, but I probably ingested dairy through my Starbucks drinks, which I used to love and still do kind of love Starbucks, but now I get almond milk or any other kind of milk except for dairy. So no dairy, no cheese. Had to take that away. This is from a ice cream sundae from this week. So it's not that I can't have any dairy. It means I could have maybe one, maybe 2 times in a 7-day period, week period. 7-day week. 7 days is a week. Maybe 2 times of dairy. If I hit it or touch it any more than that, I am going to experience a breakout. So when I would tell people, oh, I can't have dairy, they always think, oh, you're lactose intolerant. Yes and no. I can't have it. And so it's hard at first. I'm not going to lie to you, but when you get exhausted of having acne and you just want a remedy, you taking all these medications. When somebody tells you to clean up your diet, you will clean up your diet, and that's what happens. So, but that's not to stop. Okay, so I took out the dairy. Then I found out that I used to break out on my chest a lot. I used to break out on my chest, and I couldn't figure out, it would be on my chest and on my arms and on my back. But guess what? These were not coming from dairy. These were coming from, my back would break out from eggs. Not just one egg, but if I went like every day of the week I had eggs, I would get breakouts and itchy. My back would itch. So for people who have like allergies and asthma and all of that, your immune system reacts to certain foods, and you have acne, it might be something to look into. But eggs would be breakouts on my back. Bananas would be my chest and my arm. And again, it would be okay if I had it like 1 time in a week's period, no problem. But if I touched it or ate it more than, and when I say touch, I mean ate. If I ate it multiple times in a week, then I would see a breakout. And it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, I just want to get into your diet. If you change your diet, and I hate to say diet, because I don't think you should starve yourself or do anything like that. I do think if you stick to eating real food, real vegetables, real fruit, meat, nothing out of a package, any added ingredients, now you're going to be more susceptible to breakouts, because your body can't digest those extra chemicals. What's another thing? Candy, red dye in candies, which I have a sweet tooth, and Skittles, stuff like that. 1 time, no problem. But if I keep on repetitive, like eating that in a week's time, I would notice breakouts within maybe 2 or 3 days. You're going to see those breakouts. So I'm just naming all the things that you guys probably already have heard of, but I would really recommend dairy. I would try it, dairy, number 1. I would also look into, okay, everybody knows drinking water, which is what I'm trying to do as well now. Drink more water, because think about it like this. So our diets are not as healthy as they should be. Okay, I like to drink smoothies now to get my vegetables and my greens in, and that takes care of my hair, that takes care of my skin. And but you also, if you're eating not a clean diet, and we're also not eliminating, which is number 2, you go into the restroom on a regular, if you eat every day, you're pretty much supposed to eliminate every day. I'm going to say it just like that because I don't want to be gross, but you guys get what I'm saying. So yeah, your diet, change your diet. And I would say you probably most likely will see some results. Okay. Look at the sugar, look at your diet, look what you're eating on a regular basis, and do like a month's time of let me eat clean and see how the acne responds, okay? How my body responds. So yeah, I talked about how the acne was different. Also, I noticed when I eat different things, the acne it's a different kind of acne. That's the other thing. Hormonal acne normally happens around the mouth, the chin. I call those the angry acne. Oh my goodness. For me, I feel like hormonal, you can't do anything. Don't try to pop it. Don't try to do any of that, because it's underneath the skin, and it's hormone driven. So anything you put on the outside, which is why I'm not a fan of topical anything, is because on the internal, your body is trying to excrete. There's something going on with maybe your blood work, or your vitamins, your iron levels, your mineral levels. I was anemic for a long period of time, and I noticed that when you're anemic, I think you're more prone to breakout. Okay. What else can I tell you? So we talked about the diet. I told you about the different medications. The acne is different. Hormonal acne is around the mouth, the chin. They the angry ones. But sometimes, even if I eat chocolate, those are nodules. And what I'm basically saying is, based on sometimes what you eat, the acne will be different. So for me, it wasn't just one thing I was doing that was causing it, right? Then think about this. So your diet might be causing your acne. And then what we're trying to do is we try to go get medication, or we try to go get special cleansers. And all they do to me is just dry you out. It doesn't really even touch the acne, because again, it's driven from the outside. It's like you're trying to put something topical that is from on the inside. That's why why it keeps being a new batch, if that make any sense. So yeah, I'm not a doctor. That's my disclaimer again. Change your diet, change your skin, change your hair also. I will tell you that the green smoothies helped a lot. I get compliments pretty much on my skin all the time. And it's funny to me because I'm like, wow, you know, I used to be so self-conscious about it. And it cracks me up when I tell people, I'm like, I'm wearing makeup. And they're like, but your skin is still pretty. It's prettier now. I wouldn't say it's perfect because I still have some blemishes. But the difference I notice now is because my iron is up and my blood work is different now. When I do get acne and if I stop eating what I'm not supposed to be eating, it goes away on its own. They come to the surface very fast. They're not as big as what they were before. So yeah, I mean, I had multiple things that was causing different kinds of acne. And so it's like popping, forget the popping, forget the medication on top. It's kind of like we got to get to the bottom of it. So those are my tips when it comes to diet, okay? Drinking water, eliminating enough so that your system is not overloaded in. If you're not eliminating, it's got to come out somewhere. Most of us are not sweating enough, okay? There's toxins. What else? I talked about candy. So you got to think, anytime we're eating food that is not natural, that is not even vegetables or fruit, it has other chemicals. And so everybody can't take chemicals the same way, which you're not supposed to, but we can't tolerate it the same way, okay? Just like some people can't eat corn and all of that. Peanuts. Peanut oil is another one that, you know how you go and you get French fries, and most fast food places, they fry the food in peanut oil. Well, peanuts and peanut oil is an allergen to some people. So if your body reacts to that and you're ingesting the fried food, you may not have an allergic reaction, but you probably are having sensitivities. And again, all of these foods that is not really meant for us to ingest, artificial colorings and all that, our guts are inflamed and reacting to all of that. So it's causing a breakout. And so I want you to think about breakouts are telling you, like, what am I eating? There's something going on within my system that is not balanced. My blood work, go see the doctor. I'm not the doctor. but see the doctor regarding where am my levels at right now, my vitamins, what does my diet look like. So yeah, I mean, it took me years, you guys, to figure that out. And I love makeup. I think it's fun. You know, you want to change things up. But, you know, they're just, for the most part, when your skin is glowing, anything you put on top of that, like when it comes to makeup, you should also choose, I think, your makeup. You got to be careful with makeup you use as well, because makeup causes breakouts if you're not cleansing well. I just found a foundation that I really like. The color match was like, yes, finally. And I can't keep it now because my eyes water every time and they sting. Every time I put this foundation on, it stings me like no other. So I can't use it, okay? All that to say, you have to be wise and you have to really choose your products. If you have, I have sensitive skin, and that's another thing I want to get into is the products to use, right? My favorite #1 thing to use on my face for cleansing is the Dove, I said Dove, the Dove White Bar. I've used the sensitive skin bar and that's cool, but the white bar is my holy grail because I have sensitive skin, and I've used other cleansers, whereas it has alcohol, it just stings my skin. So Dove White Bar is my favorite. Don't antagonize your skin. On top of the acne, we'll put more, oh, I need to put some benzoyl peroxide, just burning your poor skin, more. I love the Dove Bar, and I like using oils at nighttime for moisturizer. That's it. Now, if I want to do some, I feel like I have dry skin and I want to peel my skin a little bit, I love Dr. Gross's skin peels pads, and I get the sensitive, the lowest strength, and I love it because it gives you a nice glow. I like to do it at nighttime, and then afterwards I put on my oil and sleep, and your skin is very baby soft the next morning. Those are my tips, okay? Nothing crazy. I'm a less is more kind of person. Again, I would say look into your diet. And then my last, but the biggest tip I can give you is fasting and prayer. Fasting and prayer. Fasting has been known to be medicinal for a lot of different purposes in cleansing the body, giving a rest period. But when you put fasting and prayer together, you'd be very surprised that some things, some illnesses, some conditions can't come out unless through fasting and prayer, okay? You'd be surprised what God can reveal to you when you are fasting and you're praying. If you believe in that, if you are a Christian, there's benefits. If you're not a Christian, He can show you different things about what's going on in your body, okay? I truly believe that our body wants to heal itself. It wants to regenerate. It wants to do that. But sometimes we are not putting the right things into our body, and so we're seeing it's telling us something is going on and we're not paying attention to it. So yeah, drink the water, change the diet, more greens, lots of greens. But also look into what things could I possibly be eating that is causing breakouts. And try the elimination diet for maybe 30 days and then slowly introduce new things. Again, I'm not a doctor. I hope this helps. Bye.